What's up, guys? Abstract Tiger Protections here. I'm Chris.
I'm Drew.
And we are here with a special October-only little mini-series.
Yes.
What? You looked at me funny when
No,
I said
I thought you were going to have more words.
Okay, sure.
October special mini-series. The way you trailed off on the zzz,
okay.
I thought you were going to keep talking.
Okay. Well, you stopped me with a sudden turn, like I said something weird.
Because I was waiting for more words.
Okay. All right. Well,
I know words good.
Yeah. Well, that was completely derailing of everything. Which is on par for how we do
exactly.
things. So, anyways, so you can see here, we have a special guest on screen. And I'm not sure how well that's going to pick up. I hope it will. But we have Egon Spengler from the Ghostbusters movies. The first two. And the video game. Little figurine. So he's going to join us on this journey. We for the next... Well, this week and then 2 following weeks. Yeah. In October, we are having kind of a, like I said, a little mini-series. Mm-hmm. Since it is the whole Halloween season or whatever, I had this idea pulling something from my childhood.
Right.
If for those of you who have watched our Saturday morning cartoon lineup list video, you may recognize, or at least maybe remember, not necessarily recognize, the show called The Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that wasn't in the really fast line.
No, it was not. It was not in the blah, 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 blah. And there's a lot of other things that I had missed. Because by the time I got through, and I was like, I forgot to mention this. I forgot to mention this. All right, I'm just going to do this. And do a new sticker across the bottom. So, but The Real Ghostbusters was one of my favorites as a kid. And in keeping with the... Oh, you're looking at the back of the thing?
Yeah, sorry. I saw Sigourney Weaver as Gozer. Sorry.
No, that's Zool. That's Gozer. Gozer was the acrobatic flat top. That they... never mind.
Okay.
You'll have to rewatch the movie to understand.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch it. It just says Gozer, and I saw... Yeah.
Yeah. Any rate...
sorry.
We, in context with this, being a show about ghost busting, I mean, it kind of leads itself to, having a episode around Halloween time or 2 or 3.
Right.
They were actually able to have 3 ones that actually referencing Halloween themselves in the show's 7-season run.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be kind of interesting. I asked you if you would be up to do this, to do it one a week for watching each one of this, and you can get kind of a feel how the real Ghostbusters are. Not apparently the movie ones are not the real Ghostbusters, but there's a whole thing with that. I don't think we mentioned it, but apparently the cartoon, the real Ghostbusters, and they treat the movies as movies, not actual. Right. I mean, they are based on events that happened because Peter Venkman pitched movies.
Yeah.
So. Take that as you will. So, Peter Venkman making money, or finding a way to make money. I can see it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So, we're going to be watching these in the release order.
Okay.
Seasonally, we're starting with season 1, episode 8. Was the first one.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing season 3, episode 8, and I think season 5, episode 9, or something around in there. I'll have to relook at the scheme.
Okay.
But definitely, this is season 1, episode 8. So, any preconceived thoughts?
I assume they're busting ghosts.
It would be strange for them not to be.
Right.
All right.
Would that be their Halloween episode? They just sit at home and the buzzer never goes off? They never get a phone call? They're playing pool and crocheting.
Oh, gosh. That's an episode of What If. What if the Ghostbusters... Well, they kind of sort of had that, because apparently between the first 2 movies, they had went out of business because they were done. All the ghosts were gone. And anyways, that's not this.
Right.
This is the real Ghostbusters and what really happened to them.
Whoa.
So, okay. Before we do that, I don't think this has the intro. I want to show you the intro. Now, what I'm going to show you is somebody did a 3D remake of the original theme, of the intro theme and whatnot. I will be putting a link to that video in the description below, so you can go and watch them and give them the likes and whatnot and watches and stuff like that, because they did a fantastic job. Based, for just being amateur,
Yeah.
I say amateurs, but,
Is it the one with, like, the ghost walking down the street?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think I've seen it before, but yeah.
Yeah. Play. So ingrained in my head. Mm-hmm.
So it appears the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man makes a return?
In a couple of episodes, he does.
That seems counterproductive, though.
Well,
because the whole point was it was...
well...
completely clear your mind.
Like I said, the events of the movie, not exactly what happened in real life, quote unquote, according to...
So, if I'm understanding what you're saying, it's essentially the same thing as when you see an autobiography that says the unofficial true story.
Right, yes.
Okay.
They had to Hollywoodify it, I guess, like that. And Peter Venkman, of course, probably embellished some things. Obviously.
I can see that.
They had a side-by-side video of the original and the thing. So
top right of the screen.
Yeah, so that's it. But, that's something we can watch later.
Right,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, there is if you're looking for something, the Zim Animation is the channel, so go over there and check them out. They do have, like, the side-by-side comparison videos. Side-by-side, there we go. I was doing it back behind here, and nobody could see what I was doing, so. At any rate, so that's the theme right there. But now let's actually get into the episode proper. So, all right.
We now return to the real Ghostbusters.
Sure. Hey, it's interesting voiceover, but hey.
Cynthia Crawford here, live for UBN News. With just hours before Halloween Eve starts in earnest, the Ghostbusters are fittingly enough on the job.
Oh, no, you don't. Hey, Winston, what's small and hairy and green all over?
It's
No time for joke, Peter. Who's joking?
Ah! A very angry chihuahua with green dye. Oh.
Looks like a Karibo with
Yeah.
rabies.
A piece of cake, Dr. Venkman?
I never said that. Even if I said it, I never said it.
Yeah, okay.
It seems like the closer we get to Halloween, the more cases we get, each tougher than the last. Interesting, huh, Egon?
Egon is really...
Plan B?
Plan B.
Oh.
Now stand real still, okay? Egon, either you tell me what you're working on, or I'll tell Slimer you got a cupcake in your sock.
You wouldn't dare. Okay. I'll talk. I was just working out the last details.
Who says blackmail's a lost art?
But they took a real jump when some ancient ruins from Ireland arrived 2 weeks ago. The ruins date from the 7th century.
7th century Ireland. That's where Halloween started.
The Irish and Scottish immigrants brought it to America, where we called it Halloween.
That's utterly fascinating, Egon, but what's the point?
Those relics brought here from Ireland go back to when Halloween started. What if Halloween is based on something that really happened long ago? I keep wondering if those
Are we
ruins
talking about
of
Sam
Halloween
Hain?
itself is the reason why everything's been going wrongly.
Yep.
Maybe we ought to check those ruins out. Beat it, Spud.
Spud. Yeah.
Looking for a lollipop? Try his socks.
Socks. So obviously Slimer's much more tame.
He's domesticated to a certain
Yeah.
degree. Yep, Sam Hain.
Yep. With a pumpkin head?
Well, you know, they had to do the. Oh, jeez.
Gargoyles! I love that show.
Yeah.
Not to pry, but what exactly is that thing you two've been working on?
A spectrum differentializer.
A toaster.
Huh?
Huh?
I think we should have a nice, long talk.
Yeah. Apparently.
That's right, you heard correct. Jump.
What?
So authentic. I hope bonbons are okay.
Bonbons.
This doesn't look good. PK meter's going right off the scale. Looks like a citywide manifestation.
Then how come nobody called us?
Phone lines must be out. Or possessed.
Remind me not to accept any
Or it's
collect
Halloween
calls.
and no one thinks
Yeah.
it's real.
Right.
It is time at last. All of you, all things not of this world, come to me. All come. Much to do to make sure that Halloween never ends. That from this moment on, the world shall know only eternal night. You have the stench of mortals about you. You live with them, help them. You disappoint me. But no matter. Night without end is coming, and you will join my midnight army. Or pay the price.
Now it looks like the meatball from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh, boy, am I pooped. And we haven't even got a tenth of them yet. How long have we been at this anyway?
Peter, what time do you have?
Hey, wait a minute. This can't be right. It's been hours since we started.
Time is slowing down.
I bet you know what's going on. Let us in, okay?
Okay. 1. Halloween started to celebrate night's creatures. 2. Suddenly we're up to our hips in them. 3. Night's falling everywhere. 4. Time is slowing down. Conclusion? It'll be Halloween forever. This night will never end.
Actually, I think I like not knowing a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That was a very Pinkman thing to say.
It was quiet. Too quiet. I always wanted to say that.
Look, up there.
All things of the night are mine, on this night more than any other. For I am Samhain. I am Halloween.
Of course. Halloween began as the Feast of Samhain. Samhain was supposed to be a creature of night, who no one could stop.
I am not leaving. I have come to give my gift. The gift of eternal night. Eternal Halloween. Eternal me.
It hates light. All we have to do is turn on all the lights in the city. That would weaken it enough to...
Well.
Oh, no. Power fail. The whole city's blacked out. Wait, what should we do?
Try a frontal attack. That'll keep them busy.
I don't know. Giving us the easy stuff. Do you think that's fair?
Deny them. Swear allegiance to my army of the night, and I may permit you to exist.
Oh, that's very reassuring.
Right.
You call yourselves goblins? Why, you're nothing but a... Oh, gosh. A bunch of zone dweebies.
Zone dweebies?
Okay. They're confused what that means.
One down, 4 to go.
Okay.
He's gonna use the car to jump
Power
the,
to pull this off.
essentially the bat signal.
I guess.
Whatever Egon's doing, I wish he'd hurry up. I don't like the odds here.
That should do it. And now, sometimes I think the universe just waits for me to get cocky.
You have been very. Whatever shall I do with you?
Oh, a vacation would be nice. Someplace sunny.
Very Pinkman. Very,
Very much so.
Obviously. I just hope we bought Egon enough time. Slimer! Pizza!
Of course, it's food. That's
Yeah. Bong.
Bong.
No! It can't end this way! I won't go back! I won't go!
I mean, you're not. They're not putting you back in your stone slab.
No.
Moving again.
This I gotta see. Well, what's happening? I'll bet he's fuming and raging like the rest of them.
See for yourself.
But it's just sitting there, like it's waiting.
Waited 1,200 years to be free. Wait for its chance to come again.
Which is not gonna happen, right, guys?
Trick or treat.
Not
good.
funny.
Not a good joke. Too soon.
Definitely trick.
All right, and that
Wow.
was the episode when Halloween was forever.
Yeah. That was
So
wow.
yeah, it's got an interesting balance of course, the quote-unquote ghost-busting
Yeah.
action and a little bit of the history of kind of like where this thing comes from. So it's not just like, oh, we're just showing up, bust a ghost and go home, and that's it.
Right.
So, and at this point in the show, the writing was still really well. Obviously, it's the first season. They had some changes behind the scenes. I think in the last 2 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and the writing wasn't nearly as good.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the ones that there's a couple of others that people kind of point to. This is a good one,
Yeah.
good episode. Not just because it's a Halloween, but it references something that most people don't really realize about what Halloween is.
Right.
A lot of people, it's a pagan holiday, but that's about the extent. But they go into the depth of how it was created.
Yeah, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, Samhain Day, Samhain, all the different iterations that have formed together to form the cookie cutter
very
Hallmark
marketable
version. Yeah, very marketable version of Halloween that we currently have.
Yes, from we can sell candy and costumes to kids.
Well,
well, actually, I should say, sell costumes and the candy to the adults to dress up the kids and have the kids go out and get
candy for the adults.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you go through the pile before you could let them have it the next day.
Yes.
So I come, like, I watched Supernatural, and they did an episode on Sam Hain as well.
Oh, yeah.
And they did one where Sam Hain would actually feed on souls of mortals. And so that's why the whole masks thing started was, so if you put on the visage of, like, a creature of the night, or you make yourself look dead, you could avoid Sam Hain's gaze. Yeah. And so I thought that was really interesting. The fact that they gave him a pumpkin head...
Yeah,
it was a little too on the nose for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is directed for kids,
right?
Obviously, and you can't have something that's like maybe true to the actual story of Sam Hain, what he looks like, because that could be a little too, I don't know, frightening or quote unquote or whatever. So something generic.
Burlap sack and a mullet is usually the go-to image that you see in images. And,
so basically, Billy Ray Cyrus
with a burlap sack on his head. Yeah. Essentially.
That's scary. Yeah,
and there's no mouth hole, it's just eyes.
Yeah.
So if you were to Google pictures, the sketchings that people have drawn, Sam Hain was also the inspiration of the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of storyline in there too with the whole Ichabod Crane.
Right. Though the Disney version of this is probably where they're pulling the pumpkin head from, because I know in the Disney version of that, the Headless Horseman had a pumpkin that he carried around. Like
he rides like this. Yeah. But that was very interesting. I did not know. Again, the biggest thing that I'm trying to get past in my head is the voice of Stentz, and the fact that you called it a pompadour, and yes, that's what the front looks like. But it almost looks like a ponytail.
Yeah,
it looks like it's a mullet tied in a ponytail. On the backside, and he's blonde, and it's messing with my head.
Yeah, because in the movies,
Ernie Hudson. Yeah, there you go.
Egon in the movies, is brunette.
Yeah.
Which that is because Harold Ramis was a brunette.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I just thought it was interesting that they changed his image, but no one else's, other than taking away Ernie Hudson's character. They said it 3 times in the movie. I'm looking at it now, and it's not
Winston.
Winston, thank you.
Yeah.
They took his mustache off. That's it. Other than that, he looked pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Bankman.
Janine was a little different.
Yeah, Janine was a little different. Bankman, all they did was they gave him more of a slicked back hairstyle instead of the Bill Murray wild hair. Stance looked the same, except ginger. That's I mean, all they did was change people's hairs and was like, these are supposed to be the same characters, but are they really?
Yeah, they are, because they're the real Ghostbusters. Says it's in the title, but overall,
well, then they need to get on the phone with their casting agent for that movie, because
well,
if it wasn't for the multiple millions of dollars that franchise made, they did not do a good job on casting.
Well, it was all that they could afford at the time. But anyways, other than that, what do you think? I mean, you did mention that Slimer was a little bit more
Slimer was more the word you used was domesticated.
Yes. There's an episode that kind of explains why he's with the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they give him a backstory?
They kind of do, and it's in one of the episodes. I'll have to look it up. If you want to watch that, we can do that later.
Okay.
But yeah, there's an actual episode that kind of talks about the they mention it takes place right after their fight with Gozer when they get back to the firehouse.
Okay.
And Slimer just kind of shows up. And
right in the post-credit scene, right?
No, I mean he flies through the city, through the air, but there's no post-credit scene.
I thought there was a post-credit scene where it showed him back in the hotel eating the food. Okay.
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of a YouTube video. I don't know. Or I'm getting it mixed up with the Ghostbusters that shouldn't exist. I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, so I've always wondered, because they're making a really big deal. Like, they made a point in the trailer to show that Slimer is back in Afterlife, and so if this is actually semi-canonically connected to the movies, understanding how Slimer will interact with mortals again,
right,
would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know of how they do it in the quote movie universe, but in the TV series line, and like I said, they have an episode where somebody comes by and they actually, I think it's like a reporter or somebody, is like, we noticed that you have this little green ghost that follows you around and you don't bother busting it. Why? And it's the premise, and then there's like a flashback episode.
Okay. Yeah,
like
no,
I said,
I'm definitely down to watch that, because Slimer is one of my favorite characters, and I've never understood the two characters that are my favorite in the franchise are Rick Moranis' character and Slimer.
Lewis.
Yeah,
Lewis and Slimer. Okay.
Lewis and Slimer, but I don't know.
Yeah. I can't promise you that's how it was in the movies, but like I said, in the actual TV show proper, they consider the movies based, and just like Hollywoodifications about what happened.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Gozer. I mean, it still happened in the real Ghostbusters, the TV series timeline. It just happened differently, slightly.
Okay.
Because, like, it was implied that Peter Venkman sold the movie rights to that particular story, and of course they had to Hollywoodify it up a little bit and whatnot. That's how the whole universe kind of fits loosely together.
So in Real Ghostbusters, is it just Ghostbusters 1, or is Ghostbusters 2 canon as well?
It goes through Ghostbusters 2.
So they talk about a walking Statue of Liberty?
I don't know if they do that.
Oh, okay. We need one symbol to unite everybody.
I think it is mentioned in one of the later episodes, but in the sequel series, Extreme Ghostbusters, there is made mention of, this happened with Vigo, the Carpathian and whatnot. Yeah. You see a little bit more of him in the game.
Okay. And what system did that come out on?
Everything.
I will find it. I will play it. I have PlayStation 4. I will find it.
Yes. I played it on PC. I played through it once, the storyline. It was definitely interesting. You had a lot of callbacks to the thing. They had a return, back to the Sedgwick Hotel in the game. And not because of Slimer, because, another ghost. The librarian ghost at the beginning.
Yeah.
Starts, is there or something of that nature. It's been a long time since I've played it, but at one point, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man shows back up again as Gozer. Gozer shows up as Stay Puft.
Okay, so anytime we see Stay Puft, it's a form of Gozer at this point. Because that was what they busted him as.
Kinda.
When they crossed the streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know in relation to the show. I think Stay Puft was a separate entity from Gozer.
Okay.
It was because of the innocence that Ray had put into the selection of the Stay Puft.
Right.
Became a little bit more childlike after he got separated from Gozer.
Okay.
And like I said, there was a couple of episodes where he shows up in the show, and he's sort of like a anti-hero of sorts. it's a little odd.
A Ghostbuster that's not Slimer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
interesting.
It's interesting, and usually they bring him back whenever there's something on Gozer's level that they can't handle by themselves or whatever, for whatever reason, and he's usually there as just like a stalling tactic, until they can figure out, okay, this is what we need to do to stop this thing. But he's like I said, because of the innocence portrayed, he's kind of like a personality shift. He wasn't like, he was like a sort of like an underling of Gozer or something, like kind of like Zool and what's his face, the other guy that Lewis turned into or got possessed by, the gatekeeper.
Yeah. I'm the gatekeeper and I'm looking for the key.
The key master.
Yeah.
But Zool was the gatekeeper. Lewis was key master. Anyways, he was like underneath them or something that. But he was used as kind of like a terroristic type of thing. Fear and stuff like that. But like I said, I mean, you can consider the movies as their own timeline, kind of like in Marvel's What If or whatever, and the real Ghostbusters as another timeline or whatever. Or you can consider like the real Ghostbusters as the main timeline, and the movie timeline is what Peter Venkman pitched to Hollywood.
Right, yeah.
But regardless, I know that we kind of veered way off of the episode proper,
I got you.
But
it was a really good episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The historical aspect, like I said, they talked about Sam Hain and Eternal Darkness and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't go like history lesson with it.
Right.
Because they had to keep it a kid's show.
Right.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was very enjoyable.
Yes. And we got 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have 2 more, over the next couple of weeks. So a couple more episodes to go through. So yay. So all right, but if you like that, be sure to hit the bell, hit the likes button, and do the subscribe thing so you do not miss one of these little mini series things that we're doing here. And we will see you next time. Bye bye and be blessed. Patreon is a thing.
Patreon is a thing.
Patreon is a thing. Be sure to do that. Bye.